So I have scarring alopecia. It's basically when the hair follicles come out and they do not return. And unfortunately for me, I just battled for so many years of getting the right diagnosis. How I live my life. I'm going to challenge you, and I want you to see the work that I do. I train and I work hard to look the way that I do. Before I had my kids, I just used to be a cardio bunny. Fitness can be dead and boring. Oh my God, like...
Natalie Remee is a highly experienced, multi-talented, versatile fitness trainer from North London. Her expertise is in coaching women to improve their body confidence, physical fitness, and emotional wellness through specialized group exercise events, movement, and dance. As a single mother of two, Natalie understands the challenges of balancing life, work, and fitness. She strongly advocates that fitness can be fun and strives to leave women feeling accomplished, empowered, and confident.
Sometimes when I go into gyms, I just train by myself. I have to tell my people that have gone to classes where teachers don't correct. There's dangers here in this country. You know, what if I don't look the same? I don't feel the same? What if people don't book me for jobs? What if I don't get work? Literally just had all these what ifs. We are lazy, yeah? Kids are lazy. I even suffer with this with my own kids. They'll sit down and be on the devices all day. So you're in my class and I can just see, like, everybody is not present. And not all food is created equal. I don't really eat what you want to eat.
The human body needs.
Because in my experience, men are more self-conscious when it comes to... But yeah, at 15, I was homeless.
How did that happen?
I was abandoned.
Welcome back to Take a Seat. This is the #1 channel for mindset and motivation. We've already had some great big stars on, but today is all about real life. I believe the way you feel is all to do with your mindset, that little space inside your head. But also, I think your physical well-being is just as important, because the more you think that you feel good about yourself, the way you look and your appearance, when you walk into a room, somebody else is going to feed off that energy. And I've brought a really special guest on for you today. So before we get into this one, make sure you smash the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Today's guest is a fitness trainer. She's really, really good at her retreats. And most importantly, she's very confident about her own appearance, which a lot of us are not. She always makes me feel so good when I'm in one of her classes and to leave everything at the door. And sometimes we need that little bit of relaxation. So please welcome Natalie Remee.
Well, that was a banging intro, bro.
Yeah, come on. Well, see, look, I got a different side. I'm not just that fat one at the back, you know, trying to do them steps, keeping up with you.
I say, yeah, okay with the intro.
Come on, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Tell me about your week, because I know you've recently just been away.
I was living my best life in Bali.
Uh-huh.
Bali, Indonesia. I had a great time. I was there for 2 weeks, and it was a combination of fitness and just exploring and just taking time out for myself, because I am busy. I'm a single mom. I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z, and sometimes you just need downtime, because if you don't take the downtime, time will take you out. So, yeah, I went to Bali and it was lovely and the weather was nice. But I brought the sun back for you guys because it's sunny now. But when I was away, it was late. It was raining, I heard.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, I thought summer was over. But something that I was really, really impressed with, Natalie, is you coming on your stories and you're going, I'm on a solo trip.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think I've waited a long time to do solo trips, right? So this is like my 4th solo trip. But when I went there, I met people. And I think that's what it's about. It's about exploring. The world is a big, big place. So I don't believe in going to somewhere 2, 3, 4 times. There's so many different places that you can go. But I think that there's an empowerment that you get when you go and you explore by yourself, and it forces you to grow because you are meeting people, you're trying new experiences, and you don't have your friends or people that you know to rely on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think that it just enriches your experience and it helps you to grow overall. So I encourage women, as many as possible, to be like, yeah, wherever you want to go, especially if you don't have somebody to go with you, go by yourself. And my thing is, you were born by yourself, so what are you waiting for? Because if you wait for people to do things, you will just miss out in life. It doesn't have to be, I mean, you can start small. So I always say to women, okay, right, start small. Because there's so many women that I meet that don't go and do things by themselves. They'll wait for their friends, they'll wait for their partner, they'll wait for their family member. But if they don't like, what are you going to do? You're just going to miss out. So when I say, okay, go cinema by yourself, go theatre by yourself, go to a restaurant by yourself, be comfortable doing those things by yourself. And then you can start with, okay, do an overnight stay by yourself, do a weekend by yourself. And then when you got your big girl panties on, do a week by yourself, get on a plane and do something. So I think that doing solo experiences enriches you.
A lot of people will like that, what you've just said, and say, look, that's amazing advice, Natalie, but they're not that person. They're going, look, I need some comfort around me. And if I'm a woman as well, I'm in a strange country. What if men approach me differently? How do I know I'm safe, secure? How do I know what to do? Will I not get bored with just my own company? How do you get comfortable there?
I think to get comfortable, then it's like stripping back layers. And I think that if you ask yourself too many questions, you just won't do. So, obviously you have to exercise caution and common sense. So research where you're going, research where you're staying, understand the things that you want to do, um, and then go. But, there's always going to be dangers no matter what. There's dangers here. There's dangers here in this country. There was dangers on this road when I was coming here. You got to be aware of your surroundings and what you want to do. But I just think that overall common sense should prevail. And if you put too many questions in front of you, it will just turn into obstacle and you just won't do. But I do appreciate that it is difficult and not everybody has the gumption. But that's why I said, okay, start small. Start with small things that you think that you can probably do. So you can probably go to a restaurant by yourself. You can probably go to the cinema by yourself. You can go to the theatre by yourself. When you're used to doing those things, then just like ramp it up a bit. But I do get that going, abroad, especially is by yourself. The first time I went abroad, I was in the airport, I was in Gatwick. Oh God, I just started crying. I was like, what am I doing here? Where am I going? Like, I'm going by myself. It was all right. Do you know what I mean? So um, don't ask yourself too much questions. Just say, okay, this is what I want to do, and just make the small steps to get there.
Mhm. So tell us about your destination where you've just gone to. Tell us some of the things, because I remember seeing one of your stories, and obviously the story you was in this. Hopefully you'll share that with us, and we can put it on this screen right now. But you've got this lovely, magnificent red dress on. But that wasn't just it. It was just the emotional side that you just looked into the camera, and I loved it. I loved every piece of it, and you were like, "I'm here by myself, and I've met these group of
Oh,
girls,
right. Yeah,
three,
yeah.
4 girls. They're cheering for me. They've taken videos from different angles for me as well. And yet I do not know who these girls were before this trip. That's the power of energy and what you're attracting and stuff. Like, talk to me a little bit about that.
That was actually really, I thought we were talking about Dubai, but yeah, that was really, really great. So basically, I have a fear of heights. I've always had a fear of heights. So I don't do roller coaster rides. I don't do like, lifts with like glass and stuff. Like I just don't suffer well with heights. When I was young, I would avoid trips like mountaineering, just forget, drop me out, I'm not going. So I have always wanted to overcome that fear because there's plenty of destinations. Paris is one of them. You won't catch me at Eiffel Tower. That's long. It's too high. Yeah. So it's not, but I wanted to be able to overcome it. So anyway, this bungee swing is called the Bali swing. I went there and I went there with the group of girls that I met uh, in Bali, and they were like, "You can do it," and I was like, "You don't understand. Like my fear of heights, it's a lot." And it's like, "Nah, you can do it." And the shortest swing, bruv, the drop, it was just high. But long story short, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do this thing. And obviously, as you saw, I documented that I was going to do it. And I got on it, swang, and when I got off, they were at a different part of the park, but they could see me on a different, it's almost like a mountain. and I could just see them in the distance jumping up and down and shouting, "Yes, Nat, yes, Nat, yes, Nat, yeah," just making, and it just touched me because I only met them on the trip. So with like I've only known them a week, and they were cheering for me, and just because I did explain, they saw me panicking, and they just cheered for me, and I just thought, wow, look at that. You know, I just felt so like, yeah, I felt overwhelmed in that moment. I was like, oh, they're cheering for me because, you know, I went up by myself. And the girl that went before me, I didn't put her on blast, but she bottled it.
Really?
She got up, she got the harness on. She's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I
Wow.
was like, I was relying on her to do it. She didn't do it. I was like, I can't. The embarrassment of having them unharness me, calm down. I was like, no, I can't. I have to go through it. So I went through it. But yeah, the
You
power of support is a lot.
you
It's a lot.
overcame your fear there.
I did. I'm
How
proud
did
of
that
that one.
feel?
Yeah, you saw, it's emotional. I was like, yeah, I did it. Not say I'll do it again, though. I don't need to do it again. I've done it once. That's it.
Got the picture.
I got the picture. Yeah, I don't need to do that again. It was high, bro. It was high. But I don't need to do it again. I'll think of something else.
What else did you do in Bali? What is to do?
Um,
How long did you go for? Go fast?
Yeah, it did go fast. It did go fast. I mean, I spent half of my time in CrossFit to, for the majority of people, it's like, nah, that's not fun. Well, I love fitness that much. I spend half of my time in CrossFit. But the great thing about me being in CrossFit is being around other fitness trainers, fitness professionals, CrossFitters. It forced me to elevate my level of fitness. And because I'm competitive, I'm not going to be on the floor.
No.
So I'm doing what you're doing, bruv. You ain't leaving me behind.
Yeah.
And also, you know, coming from UK, London, like, you know, you're from, a lot of them, most of them are from like America, a lot of people from Australia, because it's easy for them to get over to Bali. But their fitness levels different.
Good?
Yeah, it's extreme. So it's like, okay, I can keep up with them. That makes me feel good. But then also as a trainer, I think it's important to train.
Yeah.
Yeah. So social media has so many people putting up a camera in their bedroom, dictating exercises, and they don't actually train.
Wow.
And then they'll be charging and telling people what to do, and they don't actually train. They look like it too, but I think it's important. So for me, if you see me training, I think that feeds into my credibility. Like, I
Yes.
actually train, I actually work out, I actually teach inside these spaces with the best of them. So it was about just a recharge as well, because teaching day to day, training people day to day, even I can get complacent. Do you know what I mean? And it's good to check yourself. So it'd be the same in any environment where you kind of want to up a level, then you're going to go into spaces where you're kind of at the bottom, because then it forces you to up your game. So that's what it was for me. But also just being in an environment, who wouldn't want to train in the sun? I mean, that's training in the sun.
Could you imagine yourself living in a different country?
Absolutely. Yeah, London ain't it. Yeah, let's not. Maybe skip that one. London ain't it for me. Me personally, London ain't it. There's so many places in the world. Like, London ain't it. Like,
What's your
yeah, bro.
favorite place?
I don't know that I've got a favorite place, but I feel like any place that has sun,
Yeah.
and any place that has good food, good people, and obviously has a good fitness scene is a vibe for me. Yeah.
How important is the sun? Do you think there's some chemical vitamin E behind people being happy and the sun?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need sunlight. We don't get enough sunlight. This country's long. Like, we're going to be plunged into darkness at 3:30 very soon. In the afternoon, imagine our children are going home from school, 3:30, 4 o'clock. It's dark. We're waking up, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. We're going to work. We're getting up in the dark, and we're coming home in the dark. No wonder we're miserable as it is. So put into that there's not enough sunlight. Like, we need vitamin D. We need that, and we don't get enough of it. And I think it does. And we know that from sad seasonal affective disorder where people genuinely do suffer because they don't get enough sunlight, they don't get enough vitamin D, and it impacts on how you feel and it impacts on your well-being and what you want to do. So yeah, London ain't it. Don't let me get started.
Natalie, let's talk a little bit about some of your classes because you touched on your training a little bit and you were like, I'm happy that I kept up. But boy, when you train, it's militant as it is. You're the hardest working in that room, even when you're at the front of the class. You're doing them squats with us.
True. However, boot camp is slightly different. So I have two sides. I have the side where, we're training to get fit and we're training for a purpose. But there's also the dance side of it. So the dance fitness classes, which is more about just having fun because fitness can be dead and boring. Oh my God. Like, there's some classes that I've been to and it's been a snore fest. And I think people deserve to have classes that are good and make them feel good and make them want to work out. And you're paying a subscription and you're looking at your timetable and there's not a selection. I think that's a disservice to people. So me personally, you're going to come to my class and you're going to enjoy yourself. I will cuss you in the process. That's part of it. That's part of the experience, right? But I want you to have fun because I want you to understand that you can get fit and sweat, but it doesn't have to be so laborious. It doesn't have to be like so dry. So it's important to me that my class has an energy, that it has a vibe, that it is welcoming. Before I became an instructor and a PT, I went to a class where I didn't feel seen, and I went into this space, and the instructor didn't really greet me and everybody just seemed really cliquey, and I did the class and I left and I never went back. And I said to myself, when I have my own classes, I'll never be like that instructor because it wasn't welcoming. And for a woman who is just feeling self-conscious and has really built up how can I say, like the energy, okay, I'm going to go and do this. And they get to a class and they don't feel seen. They don't feel appreciated and it's clicky and they might have shy. Like it takes a lot of confidence for some of us to get into those spaces. So me personally, I value the fact that you have got out of your bed, because I actually only teach in the mornings days, and you've come to my class. I don't know what's going on for you in your world, but you've come to my class. So I appreciate that. So when you're there, you're going to have fun at some point. And then the boot camps is there for me to push you and to train you and to teach you so that when you're outside of my class and you go into the gym floor, you remember, how to correctly do a bicep curl, how to correctly do a lift, a squat. Because I see sometimes when I go into gyms, I just train by myself. I have to turn my head this way and this way and be like, because the things I see, I want to go and correct. But a lot of it comes from people that have gone to classes where teachers don't correct, where teachers just stand at the spot and you're teaching 30 or 40 people, but you haven't moved from your spot. How? How are you able to form correct? How are you able to see? How are you able to engage? I think is really important. So me, there's no back and there's no front of my class, which participants know. You can be in the back. I'll switch it. I'll flip it like a mirror and then all of a sudden you are at the front, because everybody needs to be seen. Everybody needs to be valued. They've paid their money. You've come. So you're going to get a workout. So that's kind of how I feel about teaching.
The thing that I really love about your teaching style is you make me feel like I'm back at school again. You know what I mean? I got back in time and you bring that liveliness of memories of being in PE, and the way you talk is probably might be like the way your
The way I
teenager
shout,
girl is
the way I
talking,
cuss.
the way you cuss is like the way you cuss is different, you know what I mean? But you get away with it.
I do. I heard someone say and I was, they didn't know I was there, and I heard someone say, two people in the class, are you going to? Yeah, she's mad, but she's good. She's mad, but she's good. I mean, like, it's not by force. So people come every week. It's not by force. But it is like that. You've been inside the class. It is almost like the banter and the things that go on. It is, I even scream, it's like being in school. I could not be a teacher because I'll get in trouble for beating people's picnic. It's not me. because I'll look, oh, one person's doing this, you got people talking, people not listening. I got to repeat myself. I got to make sure that people are not doing things that are gonna injure themselves. It is like a classroom in some respects, just that I got adults, and I can actually throw something at you and get away with it because you're not listening. But yeah, I think it's important because when I look at across in my class, I'll have shy ones, I'll have the more upbeat ones up front, but all personalities are different. But the most important to me is that they feel safe and they feel valued, and also as if you've come alone, you don't feel like, oh, I've come in and no one's, people are just clicky, which is what I had my experience many years ago. So you can come to a class, an event, anywhere that I'm teaching and know that you can come by yourself and you won't feel by yourself. That's really important.
You seem very present. It's like you're always there. It's not I've turned up for my shift and I'm gonna go and I've ticked the box. It's very present because sometimes I could be the only guy in the class
Yeah.
and
That
you'll be
too.
like, right, I know this move is a little bit, you know, made more for the women or something, and then you'll be like, for you guys up there, you do this, like,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, oh, she knew I was here. Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely. Absolutely. Because for the dance fitness classes, it could be anything. It could be soca, bashment, garage. I'm aware that the men are not going to want to be twerking and brocking out their back in the way that have got the women. So I have to give an alternative that makes them feel comfortable, but also makes them want to return. And they'll be know that, okay, Nat, she's going to cater for what the girls are going to do, but also cater for what the guys are going to do. Because in my experience, men are more self-conscious when it comes to dance, aerobics or fitness, anything that involves a little choreography. You guys don't really are not as coordinated as us females, right? So I got to give you a little bit more. I got to give you a bit more guidance. But it's important because imagine I didn't do that. You're not going to come back next week because you think, oh, I'm just going to have you doing moves that are all feminine. You guys are not feminine, so I've got to give you a move that will work you in the same way, but it's not a feminine move. It's a masculine move, and then so everybody's happy. It's very important.
Another thing I really love about you, sometimes you just say stop, 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 stop. Music goes off and then you just go, listen, guys, I don't care what the hell is going on in your life right now, but you leave that at the door. You're in my class and I want this energy. Now let's go. And then everyone's just like, almost like just threw everything away and just like doesn't give a. And it's like you make people forget about the world for that session. What makes you put that energy into your classes? Because that is quite different to other people.
Because I just think to myself, okay, there's been times where I have felt like shit. There's been times where I've got things going on in the background and it's just a whirlwind, right? So if that's happening to me, it's more than likely happening to people inside my class. I don't know what is going on for people, but it could be like you're struggling with your bills. It could have been like you had a bust up with your mom, you had a breakup with your partner. You could be going through a divorce. You could have lost your job. It could be anything. It could have been that you just woke up that morning and just felt really, really crappy, right? But you have brought yourself to class, okay? So you're in my class and I can just see I don't know what it is. It's just a skill. I can see everybody is not present. Like they're just thinking, they could be thinking about what they had for breakfast, what they didn't have for breakfast, or like what they're going to do the hour after the class. And I can see because I can feel the energy and I'll be like, this is long. Like, stop, start again. Start again and clear your mind just for that hour because you came here and you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not putting your stress to the side. Put your stress to the side just for an hour, and then I promise you, like, you'll have a good time, you'll have an experience. And then, what the best part is if I manage to change your mood, especially if you woke up feeling shit. It could be anything. I mean, for us females, it could be time of the month. It could just be anything, small or big. But the fact that you made it there it's a good thing. It's a great thing. So now that you're there, I got to make it sure that you are present. So, and I can see that. And then it's not that every time there's something going on for people. It could just be you're tired. It just be it's the morning. It could just be having breakfast. I don't care. Fix up. So stop, start again, and then we just get the best out of everybody.
The gym is a big part of my life. Whether I'm fat, skinny, whatever, I'm in the gym a lot of the time for my mind. Like I find it, I unwind. If I'm running, I'm thinking and it's de-stressing me. When I'm pushing the weights, it's something to show that when I leave, no matter what, when I go into that gym and I'm leaving, I feel so much better than it was before.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't go to the gym or don't do physical exercise. There's a study done that by the age of 30, 95% of people never ever sprint again.
God.
Like literally full out sprint because you've done it in school, maybe, but 95% of people
That's
don't.
a lot.
That's a big number,
That's shocking.
you know. And yeah, I want to know, like, do you feel there's a correlation between going to the gym and your mental health?
Well, like we know that's science. So, like the endorphins that you get from going to the gym are going to boost your mood, and that in turn is going to boost how you feel, and it's going to boost your confidence. And I think it's important that going to the gym doesn't mean like you have to go into the gym and you have to go into the weights area and you have to, do something so vigorous. But it could just be as simple as you go into the gym and you do a walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes or 25 minutes. It doesn't have to be full out. But the fact that you are doing some form of physical activity, the payoff is massive in the long run. But then if you are going into the gym and you are lifting weights, especially for women, you are decreasing the ailments that you then are susceptible in later life, right? So you're lifting weights so that you have less chance of your bones just mashing up, right? So all of us, if we think about our parents and that generation, like they sit down and they'd be like, oh God, my knee, my back, everything is like crickety, yeah? But we can delay that by just doing simple exercises. We can delay that by just lifting weights or doing some form of resistance exercise. So, like, the payoff is massive in terms of our body, and the payoff is massive in terms of our well-being because of the endorphins that get released. It's a bit like you feel so stressed and you just go into the gym and you just punch a bag for 15 minutes. You just think of that person's face that you can't stand. Just do 2 punches. Bro, you know how well you feel? So it's just about releasing the stress and finding what works for you.
How many times a week should somebody be training?
3 to 4 times is kind of the recommended. So 3 to 4 times of doing cardiovascular for approximately 30 minutes, throwing in some resistance exercise as well. But again, even if you cannot manage that, some people, I would say for women, because I'm always talking about women, it's intimidating going into the gym. And you man them just hog up all of the equipment, you just be sweating up all over the place, and it's not really enticing for a female that is like nervous and that. But you could just start by just going into a class. So that's my thing, is that I try and get people to come into a class. They feel confident, they feel their fitness is a bit better, and then try and be like, okay, go into the gym floor and try working out. And if you don't know, there are people there that can help you. So the gym staff should be able to give you an induction, show you the equipment, and then you go in by yourself and try and feel a bit more confident, because it can be overwhelming, it can be daunting. And I look at it because it's been like that for me. Like, there was a time when I wasn't confident to walk into a gym and pick up weights and be in the weights area with the men, and just be in that surrounding, because I think the gym is a very masculine place, unless you're going to a studio or a boutique, one of these pop-up new kind of venues. Essentially, gyms are very masculine. And then you have the stigma about, women will be like, oh, I want to get toned, but I don't want to get too don't want to get muscled out. And then you have to explain, okay, but that's not how it works. So I don't know, I just say all that to just say, I just want to encourage women to just get in the space, and then you just feel like, when I lift up weights, I feel like She-Ra, man.
You know, when I see you, you got six pack, you got the legs, you're trim, and then you tell me there was a time I walked into the gym and I wasn't that person.
Yeah. For sure.
When was that time? I want to know.
I don't know, probably before I had my kids, but I've always loved fitness, but before I had my kids, I just used to be a cardio bunny. So I just used to go to classes and I loved it. So I always loved working out, but I just used to be cardio bunny and I didn't have the confidence to go into gym. I didn't know what I was doing. Um, so after I had my kids, I just wanted to change my physique and I wanted to be strong. And I'd seen some women in my gym that were the same size as me but older and lifting mad weight, and I was thinking, wait a minute, how you managed to do that?
Yeah.
And then so when I trained, I just researching and knowing what you can do with your body, and then also seeing that you can change your body shape in terms of like what you eat and how you lift and program. I was like, yeah, I wanna more do this, and I'm fed up of hearing women say, oh, but I don't want to get too bulky and blah blah blah. That's really why you just see me on the ground just semi naked most of the time, just showing you that you can be muscular but still be feminine. It's just about how you do it, how you go about it.
How important is the diet?
The diet is probably like 80%. And that's saying that says you can't outtrain a diet, but you can't outtrain a diet.
Mm.
And not all food is created equal. You know what I mean? So, 2,000 calories of McDonald's, let me scrap 2,000 calories of fast food before McDonald's gonna come in. 2,000 calories of fast food and 2,000 calories of like healthy whole food, whole grain foods that are cooked yourself, they're not equal, right? And they're going to provide you with the sustenance and what you need in order to keep your body a certain way, to grow muscle, to grow tissue, to grow strength. That's is not the same as fast food. So that's why the saying is very true. You can't outtrain a bad diet. So if people are just looking at, calories and they'll just have crap for that calories and working out, there will be a part of you that will get fit, but your body won't reflect that. So you need the food and the exercise for everything to gel.
Mhm.
So fast food and going to the gym is not gonna mesh. You've got to have the foods and the exercise in conjunction for everything to mesh well.
Because the way I feel about it and see it is, yes, in the gym you're working out, you're doing a small percentage of like tearing, muscle tissue, and then your body needs to sort of repair that.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're putting in is going to help repair that,
Exactly.
like so
Yeah.
the whole foods and stuff.
Yeah.
How many calories do you consume?
I don't know because I don't track.
No.
So my thing is that for me to encourage women, it's about maintaining a lifestyle, right? And so unless you're competing, I'm not really competing, or you're trying to lose like a lot of weight. The focus for me isn't about calorie counting because it can always leads to calorie restriction, and if it's not done properly it can also lead to an unhealthy relationship with calorie counting, and that's not good. And we just want a lifestyle where everything is sustainable. So for me, it's more about educating women what are the foods that you should be eating for yourself, for your type of body, because every body is literally different. Yeah. So what I eat, that's why I don't like these ones. When you see on Instagram, what do I eat in a day? Bruv, you can't eat what I eat in a day. There's no point. My meal can't be your meal. Do you see it?
Tell us what you eat in a day.
What do I eat in a day?
What's for breakfast?
My favorite, see, the thing is, I don't know whether this will be exciting, right? Because I eat the same things all the time. So I eat chicken, I eat eggs, and I eat fish pretty much all the same time. Not really a fan of rice, and I'm kind of a functional eater. So I'm not really a person that, like foodies and mouth watering. It's not really me. So breakfast will probably be like porridge, will be oats. Snacks will be eggs. Lunch will be eggs. I get through a lot of eggs in a week. Then chicken,
How, how,
avocados,
how
eat a
many
lot of
how many eggs?
avocados. Well, if I have like about 6 a day,
Okay.
do the maths.
Scrambled, boiled,
No, like fried and
fried.
scrambled.
Okay. What oil are you using?
Well, oil,
Yeah.
coconut oil or
Coconut.
avocado oil,
Okay.
not vegetable oils. Never that. They're not
No.
good,
Why?
right? This is plastics. They're not good. So we don't want that. We want to use animal fats or coconut oil or avocado oil. Um, these are good. Those ones that spray, and no, you're better off using like butter, like real butter,
Mhm.
and just greasing the pan and frying your foods like that, than using vegetable oils. They are a lot of them proven to be carcinogenic, so I don't go for that. I don't recommend that. And then in your salads, avocado oil again, olive oil. Those oils are good for us.
So your carbs are quite low.
My carbs are, I don't know, I would say they're just kind of like average. I don't eat bread, but I eat sourdough bread. I eat pita bread. There's a lot of sh- shop bought stuff is not really my thing. Because when you look at them, they've got so many additives that don't need to be there and that are just there. I mean, the food industry, unfortunately, half of it isn't food. Like it just shouldn't be. Because if you, I look at that like my body is a temple. Obviously my body is my brand. You see me walking and you kind of assume that I'm into fitness in some way. But if you just take a basic loaf of bread, I challenge anybody now, you got a basic loaf of bread at home, just look at the back, there's 10 ingredients in it, 15 ingredients in it. But essentially bread should just have yeast, flour, a bit of salt, rising agent, that's it. But it will have E numbers, additives, preservatives. Listen, if something's got too many things in it that you can't pronounce, you don't understand why it's there, chances are it shouldn't be in your body.
And this sourdough bread, I've heard a lot of people say that they have sourdough. What does that mean?
It's just a type of, as far as I know, it's just a type of bread, and the ingredients are just fresh. And yeah, I don't know, it tastes nice. So it tastes sour, but it tastes nice. So it's just, I mean, if you can't get it from the shop, go to your bakers and bake it. Failing that, bake the bread yourself. I know a lot of us have a thing of bread, the smell of it, melted butter. I know. But
Stop it. What about fruits? Do you consume fruits and stuff?
yeah, I consume fruits. I have found even just coming back from Bali, like you feel the difference because the food out there is fresh. You're literally taking it from the tree and it's going in your mouth. Okay.
Good.
Here, there's a whole chain, there's a whole process before the food is coming to you, and then it's coming to you packaged. Food here lasts way too long. It's not supposed. Listen, fruit is not supposed to last all week. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much preservatives in it. Bread is not supposed to last. Bagels last a month. Why are we eating bagels like that? If something lasts a month, chances are there's something wrong with it. Okay,
Mm.
so food should spoil, and if it doesn't spoil within a few days, in my mind, there's something wrong with it. It makes sense. So no, I mean, yeah. Sorry, I digress. I do eat fruit, and what I was saying was that you taste it, and it tastes differently in your body, and then you come here and I
Live your life.
it's down to how I live my life. I'm sure that genetics play a part in it, but sometimes I'll let people. I will have to check you if you tell me that my that I look the same the way I do because of genetics. I'm gonna check you, and then I'm going to challenge you, and I want you to see the work that I do. That I actually train. Like I said, I train and I work hard to look the way that I do, but also to inspire other women to be like, yes, you can do that. And I'm over 40, so I want to look this way for as long as possible in my 50s and my 60s, and so far working out and training the way that I do has meant that I look like this, which
Mhm.
is great. So I'm gonna keep doing it. So Yeah, bro. No, it's not just genetics. It's hard work.
You posted a picture the other day, 2019 and now, and it's like, rah, she's maintained.
Yeah,
Like,
isn't it? The only difference was there's no hair.
Let's,
So before there was like I was giving Beyonce, but yeah, the body. If anything, I've put on more muscle.
yeah.
That was 219. I think you saw 219 to now. The only difference was there's a bit more muscle.
Is that due to more repetition and your body adjusting and building, or is that due to you lifting more and eating like
Probably lifting more and eating more according to what I mean. For somebody that if you've been lifting so many years, it kind of is slower. It can be slower for you to progress because you're kind of you in it. Whereas
really?
somebody that's starting in the beginning what you eating, bro? Do you have a plan? We'll chat after, isn't it? Yeah, so I've put on more muscle and I was a bit more lean. But then again, it's reflected in my training. I train, but then I'm also teaching, so my cardio will come out of my teaching, and then like training. Sometimes I have to adjust because if I do too much cardio, then I get too thin. That's not what I want for myself. But then the lifting helps to counteract that. How I eat helps to counteract that.
What do you think of being a vegetarian or vegan?
Listen, everybody can do what they want to do, yeah? I think, right, I understand vegan, listen, everybody can do what they want to do, right? And you can get the same sort of progress and aesthetics, so to speak. The bit that I don't get is the vegans that just be eating meat substitutes. I want you to tell me what the meat substitute is, okay? Because I don't really understand that. If it's plant based, okay, things, but I don't want to eat something that looks like chicken wings and it's not chicken wings. It might as well just be broccoli and you put butter on it and give it to me. Doesn't this meat substitute thing? I don't really understand that. So I don't have a view where I think that somebody should not be vegan and somebody should not be vegetarian. I respect everybody's choices and what they want to do. And like I said, the way that somebody eats um, and what they consume is down to their preference. But if it also fits their body and works for their body, then by all means. Because there's some things that I don't eat because it doesn't sit well with me, you know? Like my body doesn't like it, so I don't eat it.
Do you think the human body needs animal meat, protein, B12?
It just depends what you believe in, you know. But if you go back to like caveman theory, then yes, we believe we should be eating meat. So I think it just depends. Me personally, I don't like to get into these debates. Don't try to draw me there. I don't really eat what you want to eat, um, as long as it works for your body. But I would say that we have the teeth. We have type of teeth that we have for a reason, right? To tear the meat. Our teeth are not designed to be tearing grass. That's probably what I would say on that. But yeah, I don't look at things too deeply. You know, there's other things in the world to be getting into than whether or not we should be eating meat.
Have you personally noticed like things like cancer on the rise and that to do with the food that we are consuming?
But then there's a strong correlation between, like I said, if you go back to when we get our foods, the amount of additives and preservatives that are in there. Um, and to be fair, for the average person, going into the supermarket can be very difficult because of the way that the food is advertised and marketed. So it presents itself in a way that is healthy for us and it's actually not. So by that I mean we have these terms that say low fat or sugar free or no added. These are just terms that will actually entice the average layperson to believe that these foods are good for us and actually they're not.
They're not.
No, they're not. So you're better off having the full fat version, but having less of it than having something that says it's zero or it's no added or less than, because chances are they have put so much sweeteners or preservatives in it for it to taste like the original fat version. You might as well have just had that, because that's all they've done. They've stripped out the fat and the original sugars. They've put all this extra stuff in it for it to just taste the same. And then they got the cheek to charge you extra money for it. Like, what are we doing? Put it back and just get the original thing in it. So yeah, there is that. And even when you just look at people in general, we are bigger than we used to be 40 years ago. We are bigger than we used to be prior to that, 40 years ago. And it's in correlation with the way the food industry has gone.
There was a study done in 1960, 1970 that people needed more carbohydrates. But before that, people were running more on fats, avocados and nuts, them sort of thing. And people are actually thinner then. Do you think carbohydrates are good for us? Because essentially it's sugar, starch.
What's good for us is good carbohydrates. But I think the issue here is also that we are less active than we used to be, 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. We are lazy. Yeah. Kids are lazy. I even suffer with this with my own kids. They'll sit down and be on the devices all day. But in my day, did we not used to go and knock for our friends and be running out outside? Yeah. And we used to, and we don't want to come in. We don't want to come in. We want to be out on the street. We'll be on our skateboards. We'll be riding our bikes. We'll be going up and down. We'll be knocking our friends. We'll be playing all these games. We are active. We were active. Now, the younger generation, they're not active. They're just sitting down on their devices, on their computers. And these are all the things that we didn't have, 20, 30, 40 years ago, where we were more active. So I think that's the big reason why we see more, in conjunction with the way the food industry goes, and everything is at our disposal. We don't have to get up and go for anything. We just pick up our phone, we do, and the food is brought to us. We don't get out, we don't surface, we don't cook for ourselves, because everything is about convenience. So when you look at that, it makes sense that we are bigger. It makes sense that we are more unhealthy than we would, and we're just not active. We're not doing enough stuff.
I saw this meme, and it says the laziest man in the world, and he walks out his door collecting his Uber Eats, yeah, and it was a Domino's pizza, and Domino's pizza was opposite his house.
See, that's it. That really is it.
I've seen one of the new gen, yeah, they're going, got to spend £5 on this can, and I was like, why you got to spend £5 on a can? Because minimum spend, innit? But I don't want to get out the house cold to go to the shop. I just Uber Eats it.
Yeah.
£5 for a can. I'm
Yeah.
like, have you got too much money or
Yeah.
what?
But you know what? In all honesty, I can't even front and be like, there's been times in my house where I'd be like, I can't bother to go outside. I can't bother to walk down to the shops and get something. I can't bother to go into the kitchen. Let me just Uber Eats it and just order the food. But if we didn't have this, 'cause I'm thinking like 10, 15 years ago, then I was forced to go downstairs and go to the shop. It's extra steps. We don't get extra steps because everything is just about convenience. Everything is about saving time. But saving time actually costs us in the long run, because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're not active enough.
I hear you. I hear you. You're really passionate about helping women. What did you study?
Sociology.
Sociology. What was the thought process behind that?
I wanted to be a social worker. I wanted to work with people. So I always knew that I liked to talk. I always knew that I was interested in how people function in the world and placement and stuff. So that was what I wanted to do. But when I left uni, I was too young. It was weird. I was too young. So just turning 21, it was like you have no life experience. You can't, like, so I didn't end up going that route.
And so what did you do next after uni's done? You've got your flat, your whole world's in front of you. What was your route, your thinking, your plan?
I didn't have a plan, I was working, and I had a good job, so that was my plan. But
Still in boots?
no, so when I was working, so basically while I was at university, I had various jobs in retail, Saturday, weekends, and seasonal to help me through uni. And then once I finished uni, I got a job, a full-time job. And then I was in that job for I just got kind of stuck into it. It was a good job.
What was it? Office job?
It was
Retail?
corporate.
Okay.
Um, and but as the years progressed and my kids got older, I said, yeah, I'm gonna do this fitness. I'm gonna circle back and do this fitness. What I want to do, I want to try it. And so I qualified first in teaching exercise. And when I decided to do it, I went and I auditioned in South London, deep South. I'm North, but I went to South. And my rationale was, if I go to South and do classes there, if I'm really bad, no one will know me. There'll be no blowback because no one don't know me in the South, right? But I would go and I would take this journey, it's a long team journey, take the overhead, and then I would come back. And I was doing it for about 6 months. And the manager said, yeah, he was like, yeah, yeah, you're good, like you're okay. And I was like, so do you think I can transfer up? And he was like, you can't transfer up, but there was a branch in North, and they were looking for someone. And I went there and I asked, and they was like, yeah, and they tried me out, and then the rest is kind of history. I started and just getting a handful of people.
Did you have to take a pay cut from going corporate job to?
Yeah, of course. But for me, fitness and teaching fitness is more about some things money just can't buy. And I just want to be happy in myself and content that I've done the best with what I have, what I'm supposed to do. And working in corporate just wasn't rewarding. I was like, what is this? Like, answering queries, escalations, sitting in meetings for meetings' sake, watching people puff out their chest, all the stuff that comes with working in corporate, even what I had to wear, that's not me. Um, but yeah, going back to that, working in fitness, the pay isn't the same. However, it is rewarding, and I feel like I'm making much more of an impact and a difference to people's lives than I was in corporate. Um, so for me, that was okay to do that.
You mentioned you have kids. When did that bit come into your life? How did that come about? How did you know that was the right partner as well? Because relationships are big. A lot of people go, I wish I knew this before. And so if there's a young girl watching right now, maybe she can learn of this situation of you.
I always try to tell young girls right now is that be careful who you lie down with, right? And anyone that you lie down with is potentially a partner, is potentially, a father. And you have to be really mindful of that. Because raising kids, whether you're single or you're in a committed relationship, is challenging, you know. So mine did not work out. And so then I was a single mum with two kids, 3 and 4, and one has special needs. And so
Wow.
it meant that I was in this kind of whirlwind of kind of working out, like, what is this? Like, my son was just presenting different. And by the time I worked out or come to understand that it's autism, I had no knowledge of autism. Like, what is that? I just thought it was Rayman. You know this film Rayman with Dustin Hoffman?
No.
No, I'm showing my age. Somebody out there that's watching this podcast, please tell me you know about Rain Man.
Tell me, tell us. Tell us if somebody might Google this right now.
No, let them Google. So that's all my knowledge of. Like, Rain Man was a film that I watched with Dustin Hoffman. He was, autistic, and he had these abilities, but that's all I knew. Um, but it just basically, I spent so many years battling with the system, taking my son from school, in and out of school. He's practically expelled daily. I had to pick him up, bring him back from school, he just wasn't getting on school.
How
And
old
they
is
would
he now?
now my son is 15, and the issue started when he was 4, so when he was in reception.
It was very hard to diagnose autism
Absolutely.
back then.
Yeah.
'Cause my little brother, he's going to be about 28, 29 now. He
Mm.
was about 10 years younger than me. And we just noticed like he would rock a lot more, or
Right.
like
Okay.
out of nowhere, and then he will repeat himself, like, and he'll ask again and again and again. But he had a very good memory of certain things,
Yeah.
photographic. But
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we just was like, "Oh, he's 6. Why is he not talking yet?" And because he was the baby of the family,
Yeah.
and my sister's like 40 now, and then it was my other sister 39, and me 38, then my other little sister 36, 37. He was the baby. And so even 10 years before, like, he was so young, but no one spotted it. And it's like, one of my family members has an autistic child right now, and the support is totally different.
Yeah.
Sensory rooms and
Yeah.
speech therapy,
Yeah.
and we're taking him on this coach, this bus, and feed the ducks. Like, he needs a lot more, like, the brain has a red pattern and a blue pattern, and you've got a sort of a window where they become coachable as possible, and then they become set, and
Yeah.
that's who they sort of are. And yeah, you just, when you touched on autism, I just thought, touch on them few points. But like, back even 10 years ago, was you getting that help and support?
No, it was a nightmare. But like you say, it's when they're young, it's very difficult to diagnose because essentially they don't even know what's going on for them, and they don't have the words to be able to verbalize what is their experience and how they are actually perceiving the world. But we know that they're not fitting, so they're not fitting in the usual classroom sense, and they're not getting on. And there's many reasons, and there's a spectrum, right? And so it can be they're low functioning, which is kind of extreme, to high function, so it can present very differently. So with my son, it was presenting in the case of like he just could not engage, and he was disengaged because the class was too slow for him, um because he processed very fast, and he almost, I wouldn't say had a photographic memory, but he remembered things and sayings and what teachers said and did. And so then when he pointed it out and challenged and said, it could be very something simple, but you didn't say that. What you actually said was, and then it's like he's been obstructive or disruptive, and so he would be thrown outside of the classroom. And this was started when he was 4, he was in primary.
Wow.
And so when I went to them and said, but it's, I asked him what was the problem, and he was like, but I know all of this already and it takes too long, and he just couldn't fit. They were excluding him from classrooms, and they were manhandling him, and it was extreme.
Wow.
And I went through this process of saying to them, do you have like a gifted and talented program that you could put him on? Because he is, his words and his vocabulary, his reading was very, very high, and his understanding was very high, but emotionally he wasn't able to regulate. So anyway, it just presented, I think when he was 5, the head teacher had enrolled him in a special school. She called it a special school, but I came to find out that it was actually a PRU, which is a pupil referral unit at 5. A really quite shocking experience. And so I took him out and refused to send him back. And I rolled him into a different school. And I was doing this rat race for about 5 years. And by the time I had kind of got him assessed and got him diagnosed, it had just got to a point where I'm not sending him anywhere. I'm not sending him nowhere. He stay at home with me, because the schools weren't able to handle him anyway. So he was fortunate that he was in a primary school, a normal primary school, and he had a one-to-one for his learning needs for about a year or two. But unfortunately, the budget, they couldn't maintain it, and it was very stressful on the young person that was working with him as well. And so that it wasn't sustainable. But then we had the diagnosis, and it's like he can't go in a mainstream school. He's got to go to special school. He went to special school, and then he was just excluded and excluded again and again and again. And then I said, enough, I said, enough. I'm not sending him there. And then by chance again, I was fortunate that a solicitor took my case on. I took the council to court, and I was able to get him the provision that he needed to thrive. So I was one of the lucky ones, but I know that there are many out there that are not and that are struggling, and it's very difficult, and it's very exhausting. You know, you have a child that can't communicate, and the behaviors are just meltdowns every single day, meltdowns, and the school should be providing, and the school should be taking care, and the school should be understanding, but they either are at capacity, don't have the knowledge themselves, so all they're doing is calling you up and telling you to collect your child, which is off the books, because they're not supposed to do that. You can't do that. You're excluded. So they'll just tell you, come and take your child. And so I would start my day, and it would be like 8 o'clock. I'm supposed to go to work, and they would be like, you need to come and get him. I like, the day hasn't even started. You need to come and get him. We can't go. He's got to go home. So yeah, it was a nightmare. So I kept him home for 2 years. He was with me. He was getting some provision at home, and I was fortunate. I had these wonderful tutors that would come to my home for a couple of hours each day, and they were great. They were just so amazing. And then afterwards,
Because I was going to ask you, how do you homeschool a child?
yeah, but it wasn't homeschooling. That's the
Right.
other thing.
Okay.
It was me saying, I am no longer sending my child
Right.
to any of the establishments that you are telling me to send him to, because they are not equipped for him.
Was you not worried that at home he was going to stop learning?
I wasn't worried that he was going to stop learning, because the issue was not his academic ability. So even with him being at home for 2 years, he was not behind by the time that he got to school. He was still able to catch up because he is very intelligent. So the issue wasn't his academic ability.
Why was you able to spot that and the schools weren't?
You tell me, bro. You tell me. I think that they were, but again, it comes down to what is available, lack of training, schools are stretched, classrooms are very big, and to me the school system is set up for, if your child just toes the line, if your child fits. If your child doesn't fit, then you're going to find yourself in problems. It's very hard to learn in a classroom of 30 kids and one teacher.
We're probably going to make a small highlight on this topic, so somebody might be clicking on just this bit of the podcast, and it will be called something like "How to Spot Your Child is Suffering from Autism" or some ability, something of that sort of nature. What are the telltale signs that you would tell another mother, sister, father to spot if your child is behaving this way? Get them tested here, or what to do next?
I think it's very difficult to say, if it's this or if it's that. I can only go by like what was my own experience. And my own experience was, I knew that my son was very intelligent and he was very able, but he just wasn't getting on in mainstream class. So he was either being withdrawn, or he was being accused of being disruptive, but that wasn't in his temperament. So to me, then something wasn't making sense. So I think it's more about it sounds weird, but it's almost about like a gut instinct that I know that, no, like, my son isn't disruptive. He isn't naughty. He isn't that he's not listening. There's something else going on for him. So in my son's case, it was that the class was too slow for his pace of learning. So he was very quick to process. It was also that he had sensory needs. So he couldn't take loud noise, he couldn't take overstimulation. And being in a classroom of 30, where there's kids and chattering and noise and clanging, it's amplified. For a young person, it's amplified, and it overloads their system. So maybe it's, for me, it was just about watching his behaviors and thinking, no, it doesn't make sense. But because it was continuous, it was like, yeah, I need to get him tested. And I was fortunate that I had other professionals come in who have seen it before and said, I suspect it's this, go this way. So if you're not sure, maybe talk to a professional. That
How do you get hold of a professional?
in the school, there should always be an SEN, so special educational needs officer or department. There should always be somebody that you can talk to if you've got that. So you raise it with them first. My understanding is also that you can go to your local borough and you can request an assessment yourself, but it may have changed since I did it.
Yes. Okay. No, that totally does make sense.
Mm.
You know, my son, he's 11, but he was falling behind in school, and then a Senko
Yeah,
teacher,
that's it. The same codes.
Senko
Yeah,
teacher came in, and she goes, "Can he do this on the door? Can he
yeah,
do these little things?" And they didn't. They want. They didn't want to say he had anything. They were
yeah.
very
They won't
careful
want to
about that.
label.
They
Yeah,
didn't want to label it, but they were saying, "Can we do this test? Can we do that? Do you notice this? Do you notice that?" Like they will ask certain questions. So I kind of knew what they were saying, because he's a child that there could be 7 people here and he can be by himself,
yeah,
and he's happy with that.
yeah.
And a normal child would play with something and go, you know, you tell him to concentrate, and he's like, he's looking at the paper and things. Like, you can't judge, like, in terms of, if there's an elephant there.
Different abilities and how they see the world is very different, and
Yes.
how they hear the world and process is very different. On their learning and their self-esteem, how they feel about themselves, and then unfortunately, if they then have negative experiences at school, it can then present and leak out in their home life and their social life, which is a shame.
Mhm. We've identified that it's important to work out and stay healthy, but so many people don't do it. I have a big friend circle. I think I'm the one who stick out like a sore thumb. You know, sometimes I don't eat as much Asian food, and they go, "Oh, you're a coconut, you're brown but
Oh
white on
God.
the
Oh
inside,"
God.
or "You're crazy. You go gym nearly 6, 7 days a week." I'm like, do you know what? It's therapy for me. I
Yeah.
like it. You know, I'll come to your boot camps on a Saturday. I'll do another boot camp with the other guy. I think you come to his class.
James.
James, that's it. I'll go into James, and then, you know, Mondays and Fridays would be my weightlifting days, because there's no classes on them days. And then the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is like, you know, these are the 2 classes back to back. We'll do a bit of yoga, a bit of Pilates, body pump, you know, legs bumped up, whatever it is. I love going through, you know, all of that. But what I'm essentially asking is, for a normal person, or a person who doesn't think this is important, they will make a lot of excuses. You've probably heard all the excuses in the book, but it's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, look, I'm married, I've got to be a father, I've got to do my 9 to 5, that drains me, I've got to cook, work-life balance.
Mm.
And then you telling me I'm gonna have to put myself through some pain on top of that?
Yeah.
Like, why should I do that thing? You know, how do you balance all these things, Natalie?
I think that you have to think, what is your why? When you know what your why is, then the excuses will stop. That's me personally. It's like, I think it's hard to say we all have the same 24 hours in a day, because yes, we do, but everybody has different circumstances, and everybody is not juggling the same responsibilities. Yeah. So how your 24 hours goes is impacted differently. But essentially it boils down to your why. So what is the why? What is the main driver? And when you scale that back, there shouldn't be any excuses. So, you know, if you want to maintain a healthy lifestyle, or you're tired of feeling tired, or you're tired of this or tired of that, you just have to start. Like, unless you're physically incapable of, that's something different. But to me, it's okay, what is your why? What is your short term why? What is your long term why? So it could be that, you know, you're tired of feeling the same way, you don't feel as good as you are, you're not feeling in your same clothes. Okay, so short term, you want to change that. And so long term, what do you see for yourself? Do you see yourself still maintaining, you know, agility, or would you like to be able to continue to do the same things that you're doing now in 10, 20 years time? The answer should be yes. If not, what are we doing? So I think the answer to that question is, what is your why? When you know what your why is, then everything else should lead from that.
Mm. But let me ask you, look, I'm gonna go at 9 o'clock to work, or log into my laptop at 9 o'clock. I finish at 5 o'clock. Now let's put an hour and a half on each side for travel and getting ready. So like 7:30, I'm getting up, getting ready for my work. I finish at 5, so 6:30, I'm home. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I want to spend some time with my family. Where is the time?
Get up early. Listen, I got a friend, right? She'll be like, now, why you got to put me on blast? I haven't said your name, right? But I got a friend, right? She does her lashes. And sometimes her lash technician has slots as early as 5 o'clock in the morning. My girl will set her alarm. She will wake up 4 o'clock to get to this lash appointment. Yeah? 5 o'clock. Because she really wants to get her lashes done. She wants to look good, feel good. She ain't going nowhere until those lashes are done. Do you see the driver? So my thing is, if you really, really want to go, you'll get up. So then I said to her, meet me at the gym at 7 o'clock. She knows not to even breathe nothing, because I'll say to her, but you could get up to go and do your lashes 5 o'clock. No, right? So when you really, really want to do something, you're going to find a way to do it. But that's not to say that it's not going to be hard, and it's hard to begin with, right? So you've got to build habits. And then when you build a habit, it will feel awkward when you don't do it, right? So you're consistently going to the gym. You're in the flow of it. And then for you to skip a day, you're gonna think twice about it. But where you haven't been consistent, to skip a day, you're not gonna think twice, because the consistency isn't there. So therefore, the habit is not there. It takes 30 days minimum to build a new habit, to rewire your brain and your body to a new habit. It takes at least 30 days. And some people are out here and they want in the quick fix within a week, 2 weeks. But you haven't even for 30 days consistently building that habit, and then building on it so that it becomes sustainable. So it just boils back to your why, and then looking ahead, like how do you see yourself, like what do you want for yourself? If you look back on yourself and you haven't moved, you only have yourself to blame. So if you start now, you'll be better than if you didn't start now. You just got to start.
How do you build up consistency? It's something I've never done before. I don't have to keep repeating things again and again. It gets boring. It one day doesn't make a difference and then you fall off. Like, how do I learn to be disciplined and consistent?
You have to plan, right? You have to plan. And your plan can just be a small plan that you just build on. So for some women that I have, it just cannot get inside the gym. Okay, so then we're scaling it back. We're just scaling it back and say, I just want you to walk anywhere briskly for 10, 15 minutes a day, just anywhere. I'm not even asking you to go to the gym. I just want you to get into the habit for this week. I just want you 3 times a week just to start walking. Brisk walk, give me 15 minutes. Okay. And then we're just building on that. So each week we're just building on that. Okay, so now I want you to either walk to the gym or drive to get yourself to the gym. Okay. When you get inside the gym, I just want you to walk around. I don't want you to do anything. I'm not even asking you to do anything. I just want you to get yourself to the gym. Whether you drive there, walk there, take transport there, just get there. Just walk around. Then leave. That's it. Because sometimes you have to just scale things back. Sometimes saying to somebody, I want you to go to the gym 3 times a week do all this, it's overwhelming. It's too much. That's not where they're at. So you've got to scale things back. Okay, so now you've been going to the gym. Even for some, I've had clients where I've said, you know what, I just want you to drive to the gym, sit in a car park for 5-10 minutes and drive home. Because you're still building the habit of getting up, preparing, driving to the gym, sitting there for 10 minutes and come back. That's still progress than when you weren't doing anything and you were just inside your yard doing nothing, complaining that your belly's big.
Wow.
right? So you do that, and then it's like, okay, so now you've been going to the gym and you've been sitting in the car park for 10 minutes. How about you going to the gym, actually do something for 10 minutes, right? And then it's simple, you just build on from there. But you have to have a plan. So many people go into the gym without a plan. I can see it. I can spot it straight away. You're just going into the gym. You sit on this machine. You sit on that machine. You see that this machine is free. Oh, that looks good. I like what he's doing there. Let me go try it. And you'll be onto that machine. So you'll be flip flopping between machines, and there's no plan. So you're not tracking what you're doing. So if you don't track, how will you know if you've progressed? We've gone into the gym without a plan. But if it's overwhelming for you, just start small. There's nothing wrong with starting small. Everybody was a beginner. Just got to start small.
I love
Man, I'm good, innit?
that. My girl's got bars. Dang, girl. This is a freak right now. Listen, tell me something, yeah? You're full of confidence and you got bags and I saw you put a post up, and it's massive because something big that women do, they do their nails, they do their lashes, they do their makeup, they dress well, but a massive thing is their hair. I'm straightening my hair, I'm curling my hair, I'm coloring my hair, and this is an aspect that I've seen. Been on the adverts as
Oh,
well,
yeah.
yeah, fitness.
Stint
I
there.
see you in there. I see you. And it was like every time she's coming, I'm like celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Like she's walked in. And then you put this. All of a sudden, you're not wearing Is it a weave? Is it called weave
Lace wig.
or lace wig? Do this. It was so powerful, and it really, 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 really touched me because if you're okay with it and you're confident about it and you can talk about it, all of a sudden it's not even a thing anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just and you just embrace it, and yeah, you do look really beautiful.
Oh, thanks, Sean.
Yeah, you do really carry it off so well. Like, and now I don't even notice that aspect as well. Like, not that you should or you shouldn't, but I just see Natalie as just Natalie, and I'm looking at you and I just see really, really nice, pretty woman, good brain, good mindset. But I suppose that person wasn't built overnight. And when you did that post, I think you knew exactly what you were doing because you empowered so many people. Like, people liked it, commented on it. I was sitting back and going, where the areas in my life that I'm not that confident, and why can't I be that confident? You know what I mean? Which I can, because she's not letting these limitations affect her or anything like that. So talk to me about that stage in your life where you took that step, that leap, and then just really took it forward, and that's your new path in your sort of life, sort of thing.
I think, well, that was really sweet. Thank you. But I think it's really important to say that while I am absolutely 110% rocking my bald head, there was a part of me that was nervous about going for the chop in the first place, right? So when I did make that post and I did make that decision, there was kind of like a build up behind the scenes because I mean I did write in the post, I was like, there were so many things that I thought of. I thought like, what if I don't look the same, I don't feel the same? What if people don't book me for jobs? What if I don't get work? Like I literally just had all these what ifs, right? And then I didn't just do it immediately. I did it kind of like gradually. So I stopped wearing the wigs like kind of locally. So I kind of just tested out by just going into like my local supermarket and walking in like bald headed and waiting for someone to be like, my God, like what's happened? What's she doing? And no one did. So I did that for like a couple of weeks, and then I was like, okay. And I think I changed my profile picture on like WhatsApp, and I was waiting for them. Oh my God, what have you done? And no one did. I think one person messaged me and go, "Oh, is that AI?" I was like, "No, that's actually me." And then it's like, okay, there's not this big, oh my God, you're ugly. What have you done? Where's your hair? I was like, right, okay. Oh, I think I'm good to do this. And I showed a couple of my girlfriends, and it was like, nah, you know, you're fine. It looks fine. You're okay. Then I was like, okay, all right, cool. Now I just need to. This is gonna be the new me from now on. So I was like, okay, how am I gonna do that? And I like to do big things sometimes. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this shoot, and once I do the shoot, that's it. We're done out here. No more wigs. They're going in the bin. And then that will be that. So I did that, did the pose, and true story, I did the pose, and I wrote it. I took ages to write something. What I kind of wanted to just get this up just to show people like this is the new me, but kind of summarize like why I was doing it, why it's important, and I'm embracing it. I hope everybody else will embrace it too, and I hope it will inspire. But you only have so much characters in Instagram. I was like, all right. So I did it, press send, flight mode. I just put on flight mode. I was like, I can't, and I was away as well. So I don't know. I don't know what the response is going to be, because I didn't know what the response was going to be, and I think I was preparing for the worst, and actually it wasn't. It was amazing. All the responses, and all just the praise and just the encouragement and recognition. So I I embrace my look now, and I am absolutely more than confident in my skin. I'd never go back, but it was a journey getting here. But it was also I was tired of being kind of a slave to worrying about my hair and worrying about whether my hair's going to drop out again and it's going to grow back. And then obviously being in the industry, working out and sweating with a wig, you'll never know how hard that is, bro. Sometimes it can be just trepidation. And again, with social media, I was always afraid that, oh my God, what if I work out, fling my head, and the wig just does a somersault in the air, lands on the floor, and all it takes is one bad mind person to just video that, and then I've gone viral for the wrong reasons, bruh. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. And then just like that's the money, the time, and then for girls, for black girls getting her hair done, bruv, it's long. You'll get to the hairdresser, you'll be waiting all day, then it comes your turn, then the hairdresser wants to have lunch, you'll just be in the chair, you'll be eyeing up any girl that thinks they're going to get in the chair, and you spent your whole day inside this hairdresser to just do up this wig or do up this weave, and I cannot do it anymore. I cannot be fearful of the wig slipping off. I cannot be worrying, every time I get a bald patch, or, is my hair gonna drop out? Is it not? Questions about, what's under my hair. I can't do this anymore. And then dating, bro. That's the next. Listen, that was also, I can't do this anymore. Like dating, and you get to know guys like, what's under the hair? I said, this, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this anymore. Do you know what? I'll tell you a funny story, right? One time I was dating this guy. The nice start of the relationship where you're talking and you're chatting to each other, and I saw my phone ringing and it was video. It's like video calling me. My wig was sitting on the sofa. The wig was, I was chilling at home. The wig was on the sofa somewhere. I was just chilling. The way, when I saw, listen, I looked at this phone. I said, bruh. The way I flew over to and the thing is, I wasn't even thinking. I weren't thinking straight, because really what I should have done was decline the call, go to the mirror, set the wig good on my head top, do a little pretty fringe, and then call the brother back. But like in the first stages, you just want to answer the phone. So I said, what? And my wig was off. The way that I dashed, I almost did like 18. So I dashed, put the wig on my head, quick time, did like this. Hey, babe. I said, you know what? I said, I'm not doing this. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. No, it's too much. It's long. I'm done. And what I've also done by mistake, because I am a clumsy person, I have video called somebody by mistake. So, like everybody's done it, because I've had people do it to me and I'll be like, you pre my profile picture. Have you ever pre'd somebody's profile picture and pressed it by mistake? So I pressed it by mistake and it video called them and my wig was off. I said, you know what? So the way that I had to rush quickly, slap on No, bro. I said, you know what? Nah, I'm done. I'm done. So all these things, I said, you know what? And then plus, on a serious, my daughter, I didn't want her to watch me every morning and getting ready and seeing me attached to this wig. I wanted it to be that, okay, for us, especially as Black women, we will wear wigs and we'll change our hair. And it's almost like that should be a choice and an accessory. We can choose to and choose not to. But I didn't want to be that I'm a slave to it, that I can't leave my house without it. I didn't want it to be my, just that is my identity. And I was be like, I'm not my hair. So it can't. And I didn't want that for her to model that behavior. So it's also important for me to just show her, okay, I can look like this and I'm comfortable like this. And also that she has that choice. But I just didn't want her to see anymore. It's bad enough with social media, like talking to her and look at her, question like how she looks and she can't go about makeup or whatever. And I was like, I don't want this for myself. I don't want this for my daughter. And I don't want anybody to ever open up their mouth and question my authenticity or my realness. And, sometimes that can be if, people always say, oh, you wear a wig or just negativity that can come with it and present. I was like, for all these reasons, I'm done out here. I'm not doing it. Bald is what you get. When you see me coming, you see me coming. And I'm good with that.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. What caused the bold patches in the first place?
So I have scarring alopecia.
What does that mean?
So it's basically when the hair follicles come out and they do not return, and so it creates like a smooth texture on your scalp. Unfortunately for me, I just battled for so many years of getting the right diagnosis. And I didn't really get the right diagnosis until like a couple of years ago. So I'd kind of gone through all this, this part of it was trauma, but acceptance. Okay, I'm just going to wear wigs. I'm just going to and then plus with the advent of lace wigs and, how real they got and how accessible they got, I kind of was okay and just accepting, okay, this is my lot and this is how it's going to be for me. But once I had been correctly done, I was like, I've wasted all these years. I've wasted all of these years being a slave to the wig and just not accepting. I mean, a part of it I wasn't accept because I didn't know, and they kept saying it was because I was pulling my hair too tight and I was doing all these other stuff that I wasn't doing because I didn't have the hair in the first place to do it. It didn't make any sense. So I just felt like the diagnosis came and I was like, I've literally wasted 20 years. So I'm not doing it anymore.
When did it start where you felt that?
Like I think in my early 20s, like late teens, and obviously being
like, hey, I'm young, all my friends are young, and people are gonna judge me without this. You know what I mean? It's just weird how much you think that people are gonna judge you for not being. You don't realize you have this personality that people see also.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So it's, I think as a young person, I mean, then I think I'd hate for it to have been now, because I think young people struggle so much with self identity, and it's kind of exhausted by social media and what's seen and what's portrayed, and the fakeness of it, that kind of disorientates our youngins to believe that things are real. You know, you have Photoshop, you have filters, and that just plays on a young person's mind, and it gives them a distorted sense of reality, that actually that person doesn't really look like that in real life. So I feel like I'm grateful that I didn't have that to contend with then, but you know, I was conscious, self-conscious. So I was just like, okay, this is what it is for now. I'm just gonna rock with it. But as I said, in getting the diagnosis, um, a couple of years ago, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. You know, going up, you know, feeling embarrassed, feeling self-conscious, feeling ashamed, like I'm just not doing this. So I just, when I decided that I would uh, make the cut, I got I had a male friend. It's really good barber, and I would go to his house and he would cut my hair for me, and then eventually he showed me how to do it with the clippers, and I really valued that, because I felt safe to do that. Um, yeah, I felt safe to do that. Where I was not able to feel safe in going to a barber's or going to a hairdresser's, because you don't. That's not an experience that you just get easily. It can be overwhelming. You already feel self conscious, and then you're going to a hairdresser, which by default is a hairdresser. People have hair. And you're going into hairdresser and you don't have hair, or you've got an issue. And I have sat down in a hairdresser's and I've taken off my wig, and the hairdresser's gone, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
And that has made me feel very felt me
Of
feel like
course.
shit.
Of
So
course.
not everybody is kind and understanding, and I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to go through it anymore. I didn't want to go with people questioning me or anything like that. I just be like, I'm done. It doesn't have to be this way. Um, and I'm going to rock the bald head and look good doing so.
I love that. It's like a new sense of sort of freedom.
It is. It's empowering. I feel free, and there's all the other benefits that come with it. I save time. I'm quicker. I don't have to worry about my wig falling off. I don't have to worry about spending 300-400 pounds on a wig. And I do feel like, yeah, it is, you know, it's not for everybody, but I do feel empowered by the fact that I am, you know, a black woman with bald head. And it is by choice, but it's, you know, the circumstances that I did have a genuine issue that led to it, but it's me taking back my power. So I'm not going to be a slave to alopecia. I'm not going to be a slave to society's standards of what a woman should like with hair. You know, the idea that you know, you can't be feminine without hair. Because that's kind of what I worried before. I worried that, oh, if I don't have hair, you know, um, I'm not seen as feminine. No, quite the opposite.
Love that. Another thing I want to ask is somebody could be walking past one of your classes, yeah? I'm going to play devil's advocate here. So they're walking past, yeah, and they're seeing these women, yeah, wearing these little shorts, yeah, legs out, twerking, whatever they call it, bumping and grinding, or shaking their bum around and stuff. And they're going, what nonsense is this? Who do you think you are doing this pole dancing classes and all of that? Yeah, what the hell is that about? That ain't right.
But I don't feel like anybody will have the gumption to walk past my class and say that. Because if they said that,
No.
I would check them immediately on the spot. Everybody's head top will be spun, bro. So I don't worry about that.
Yeah.
It could only be a hater that says that.
Yeah.
But that's not the substance and be end all of what my classes are about. So for the dance fitness, the classes are about having fun and then kind of entry into fitness and a lifestyle where you're sustaining it. For the heels classes, that is about body confidence, self-awareness, getting our sexy on, especially as women. And if you're a mum, usually women, we've lost our sense of self, you know, our sexy, our confidence, because we're so geared to caring for our children, caring for others, and that can be lost. So I work with women to get that back. And again, it's all leading to the same place. It's just a different route. Do you see what I'm saying? So we've got the dance fitness, you've got the heels class where, it's a different form of empowering. And, we wear heels and we want to look good and feel sexy and sensual about ourselves, but sometimes we don't, and we just need a little bit of help and encouragement. And I too was that. So there's nothing that I teach or that I do now that I haven't experienced myself. So when I wasn't confident, when I didn't feel sexy, when I couldn't dance, when I couldn't walk in heels, when I could definitely not pole and be upside down on my head, these things I learned. Okay, and I went into spaces where I was intimidated and where I felt scared, where I felt that, oh, women and other people are going to either laugh at me or they're going to judge me, and I went anyway. And I went there and I learned and I got good at it and I got great at it. And I'd be like, okay, so I can do it. I'm going to go and teach it and help others because I was that person. Do you know what I mean? So every confident person, there was a time, unless you came out of the room bouncing with confidence, there was a time where you didn't have confidence, or you had confidence and life experiences robbed you of that. Some of my life experiences that have been traumatic have robbed me of that and my sense of self and how I view myself in the world, right? So in order for me to reclaim that back, my method to do that for myself has been through fitness, and it's worked for me. So I'd be like, okay, it's worked for me, so it can work for other women. It can work for other women in the sense of me putting on, an exercise class that has good music, good energy, me bringing in an artist. It can work for me. Okay, I'm now dancing and putting on these classes. But when I went to a class, I didn't know. I couldn't dance. I couldn't keep up with choreography. Now I can. When I went to a pole dance, no, okay, yes, I had the benefit. I was strong, but I still couldn't coordinate. I still couldn't lift. I still couldn't make these moves look good. So I had to learn. So I just feel like I've learned and I can do them really well. And I love doing them. So I can share that. And if I can share that and it helps other women that were once like me, then my job is done.
Love that. Everything's always coming from you and your experiences and how you
Yeah.
want other people to feel as well. It's like you might have fallen, but it feels like you almost don't want other people to feel that pain.
Yeah, I don't, because we've all been through some sort of pain or trauma, right? And the only way that you can kind of move through it or learn from it is by sharing and by talking. So even like we talk about grief, when my dad died, that's the first time in my life that I ever experienced grief. Like I ever experienced loss. You may say that's fortunate, but it was unfortunate because it just meant I had nothing. Like I was just nothing could have prepared me. But maybe like for some of my friends, they've been to this funeral, that funeral. They know I'd never been. I'd never lost someone close to me, and losing my dad inside COVID, which had made it worse. It's what I realize is that as women as people, you're prepared for parenthood, you're prepared for motherhood. You have prenatal classes, you have a midwife, you have all these classes that help you beforehand for giving life. No one prepares you for death, bro. That's what a funeral. This is what you're going to need. This is how you're going to have to register children. Okay, this is what's going to come. You know what's going to come, right? Someone dies, what you're not prepared. You are learning on the spot because that's not a conversation that you've had growing up. okay, what does it look like? What does it feel like? So it's, you learn on the spot what is grief, how do you grieve, and then is it normal? Should you feel a certain way? And then for me, being inside COVID, it was intensified because I wasn't able to be physically consoled. So we're in lockdown and nobody can't see anyone. I can't touch anyone. The absence of hug and moving in isolation. Whereas had it been outside of COVID, it would have been a bit easier, so to speak. But really difficult. So I just found like where I was absent for teaching and I was teaching online as everyone was and going live, and I just went. I felt like I wouldn't be authentic if I didn't come back and say, guys, this is what happened to me. My dad died. And he died suddenly, and I didn't know that he was going to die. And I'm just here and I'm just making my way through grief. How about you? This is my experience. How about you? And then everybody was engaged and, shared similar experiences. But up until that point, I had no idea what grief should look like or how to deal with it.
How did you get through that moment in your life?
I, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know. Like when I made the post, I'm not even sure. I just felt like I have to talk on it because it's so important. I've learned so much and it was so isolating. I just felt like there has to be other people that feel the same way. But through, I think going back to exercise helped me because exercise and working out has always been a kind of stress release for me. So for me, it's twofold. I genuinely do enjoy it, but it also is my place of sanctuary. It's where I get to de-stress. So working out helped me. And then having therapy. So I was fortunate a few months after I had therapy to process like what had happened, um, and how it had happened, and just the quickness of it, of just expecting my dad he was in hospital, but I was expecting him to come home, and the calls up until that point had been preparing him to come home. So to get a call and be like, you have to come because he's not going to make it through the night, you what were we doing? And I went to the hospital, and everything just seemed to be almost like an out of body experience, because again it was my first time ever of seeing a dead body. And then it happened to me, my dad. So it was just like an overwhelming, like just sadness of like, my God, this happened to me. I've been through so much stuff, but I've never been through this. How do I navigate this? So I just would say I got through it by just, as I always do, is just doing my best, bit by bit, piece by piece, friends supporting, and just helping me make my way through it. And then I did share on socials, and I did promise that I would come back and revisit it, but I just didn't feel that I was stronger. So maybe now, maybe in future, I might revisit the post and be talking about grief and making your way through it. But the one thing I would say about it is I learned that everybody's grief journey looks different and is different, and that's okay.
Mhm. Um, Another part of what you do is you do retreats.
I am hired to be on the retreat.
Okay. Talk to me more about that, the mental and physical side of somebody going to a retreat. So, this is essentially someone's going on holiday to work out with you.
I know, right? It'd be like, these people, are they actually well? Are
Are
they
they
all
mad?
right? Is it by force? The thing is, it's never by force. People come. So the retreats or the weekends or holidays are usually just, a bunch of people, 400 people going either to a hotel from Friday to Sunday, or on a holiday, so going to a fitness resort, and doing workouts for the week. There'll be various classes, various activities. It'll be me, there'll be other instructors there, and it's a place where you work out, but again, you also have fun. So it's twofold.
Okay. And have you seen people change or transform on some of these retreats?
I wouldn't say that these retreats or weekenders are about physical transformations, because you can't really transform in 2 days or 5 days. But what I would say is that the emotional side is 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 so important, and it's the side that often gets neglected, right? So physical fitness is important, but so is emotional and mental wellness. And when you have these retreats or weekenders where people can come together and learn things and experience things and make new connections and make friendships and relationships, that bolsters the mental and emotional wellness. And I think that is one of the biggest benefits of going, of just, you can come by yourself or you can come by in a group, and you can do as little or as much as you like, but these are connections that you wouldn't have made had you been at home and not come.
Mm-hmm. The new circle, isn't it?
Yeah, so
You know,
it's new circle, new things. And then, growth is about trying out new things. So it wouldn't just be about, oh, come into my class. Because I actually say to people, if you've been to my class, or you know what I'm like, try somebody else. As I'm not for and everybody is not for me. That's fine. But try a different class. You might like that. And if you do like it, then when you go back home, see if in your gym if there's a class that was like that, because you know that you like that. Because you are more likely to be successful in your fitness journey if it's class based, if you actually enjoy it. Maybe there's nothing worse than going to a class that you don't like. What's the point? Because you're not going to go willingly, then you're not going to be consistent, and then you're just going to fail. So I think weekenders and holidays, they are great places for people to connect, and they're really great places for women to just kind of rebalance and recenter themselves, especially when they've been caring for their families, for their children, their partners, their parents, managing businesses, managing themselves. And at the end of the day, they're just spent. So it's a chance to recharge and reconnect, and then like make new friends, relationships.
oh, I hear that. I used to go. You don't know Naomi, Fit and Funky, do you?
No, I think I've
No,
heard of them, but
yeah,
yeah, I
Fit and
haven't
Funky.
been.
I used to go to Newham, and we went to Tunisia one time,
Oh,
and yeah, it was a nice little retreat. We done some quad biking, some fun things, but early mornings was like, yeah, we'd have breakfast and we work out. Then after that, you go and dip in the pool, and
yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
it was like even like a school night,
Yeah, oh yeah, theme night.
evening.
Yeah, yeah, we
You
have
know what I
those.
mean? Like all of that sort of stuff, and then you just learn so much. Like you learn so much about other people. You make new connections, and it's like, this is not my work lot. This is not my family. This is not my normal friend circle. This is my gym lot, and everyone enjoys gym here too. Keep him fit, and we have a laugh and joke. So amazing to be part of these. That's why when I look at you doing them, I'm like, I can only imagine like people are partly on holiday, partly doing what they love as well, meeting new people, and it's such a good social thing that
Yeah,
if people are going through stuff like
yeah,
mentally, it breaks that chain to give
yeah,
them that little bit of
yeah.
release,
It does.
but also not just lying down on the beach going, right, so what am I going to do next, and
Yeah,
doing this thing alone.
there's options. There's options, and then there's people that feel the same, and then you go off with them.
100. I need to ask you a really, really important question.
Oh
But before
God,
I'm going to ask you this question, I'm going to take you on a journey. Yeah. So
what
um,
kind of journey is this, bro?
I want you to remember, your very, very, very first house.
Right.
And I want you to remember that time. I want you to remember the road, street, and I want you to go for a walk there right now. Walk down that street. You know what that air used to smell like. You're looking around, your neighbors and everybody. And yeah, you walk in front of this door and you can see that door because that's the door to your very, very, very first house. And you put your hand in your pocket and you can feel the keys. And you take the keys out and you remember the exact color of what the key was and the shape of that key. You take the key out and you put it into the lock and you turn the key and you hear that familiar click sound, and you know what that sounded like. You reach over and you turn the knob. As you turn the knob, you open the door. And everything in that house looks exactly the same as you remember it, including the smell. Maybe you can hear a familiar voice of your mum or your grandma. And you walk into the house, but no one's there. No one's there in the house. And you walk into the normal rooms that you can see, you walk into the dining room, no one's there. You go to the kitchen. Then you turn around and you think, let me go to my bedroom. Let me see what that bedroom looks like. So you go, if it's in a flat, you know exactly where that room is, or if it's in a house, you're walking up the stairs. But you know where your room is and you can see it and the door's closed. You walk up to that room and you turn the handle. Again, you know exactly what that handle looks like and what it sounds like. And as you turn that handle, your room door opens and everything is exactly the same as you remember it. The bed's in the same place, your drawers in the same place, exactly where you had your toys. But no one's in that room. And you walk into that room and you look around. And as you look around, something catches your eye. And you see a little girl. And as you walk up to that little girl and you go closer, you realize that little girl is you. And you go closer to this girl and she looks up at you. And she looks so happy there playing and got so many dreams and so many ambitions that she wants to do. And she looks at you and you look back at this little girl. And maybe you think, oh, I've put you through some few things in your life and stuff. And she reaches out to you. And I want to ask you, what advice are you giving this girl about life and what's to come and what to be ready for?
That's a good one. I think I would say to her to remember that she's loved and that she's capable of doing anything that she wants to do. That's what I believe I would say. I say that she's loved and she's capable of doing anything that she wants to do.
Somebody watching this podcast right now at home, what advice are you giving them?
For
Just generally, they don't know what they're doing in their life, or they might have a bit of success, but they're not happy in their life, and they're watching and saying, "Oh, podcast." But what are some gems that you would give that person out?
you should always believe people the first time. So believe people the first time. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. That will save you a load of headache. And that's a Maya Angelou quote. It's like, listen, believe people the first time they tell you, believe them. The first time they tell you, they show you who they are, believe them. I would say that go with your gut instinct. Tune into your instincts and go with that. Go where your energy flows, right? Go and put yourself around people where your energy flows and where you feel okay. If you walk into a room and you don't feel okay, it's okay to walk out of that room. Even if you just came in and you need to exit, it's okay to do that. Don't put yourself in spaces or around people where you don't feel comfortable, but you're there because, oh, in case it looks rude, or if you feel uncomfortable, remove yourself. I would also say it's very important as women for us to exercise our yes muscle and our no muscle. Like, it has to be strong. Do the things that you want to do, but equally don't do the things that you don't want to do. Unless it's for growth, don't do it. And it can be as simple, it doesn't have to be deep, but it can be as simple as You know, you don't want to go to this birthday party. You know that there are going to be people there. You don't really want to socialize. You're not feeling like it. You go, you don't really enjoy yourself, but you're putting the feelings of the host above yourself. You don't have a good experience and you go home and you just be, oh, I shouldn't have gone. I should have listened to myself. That thing there of, I'm not really feeling like I can do that. I don't want to do that. Sorry, but no, thank you. But equally so, yes, I'd like to do that. Yes, I'd like to try that. I think that as women, sometimes we're just too people pleasing because you don't want to upset someone. You don't rock the boat. Rock that boat. You don't want to rock it. That's what I would say. Rock that boat. It's not about people pleasing. Put yourself first. You're a mum, you're a carer. Put yourself first so that you're not depleted, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. It sounds cliche, but you just can't. That's a lesson I learned over the years, because I used to just be flat out. Then I'd have burnout for weeks and weeks and weeks because I'm running around doing everything for everybody else, including my kids, and there's nothing left for me. So I would say put yourself first. Check your energy, trust your instincts, go where your energy flows, say yes, say no with your whole chest. That was good, didn't
That was proper. Proper. So for all the people at home, what's the best place for people to follow you?
The best place for people to follow me is on my Insta. I'm always on this damn Insta. So I am at Natalie Remee. That is NATALIEREMEE.
Wicked. And we're going to put that down into the description as well anyway. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for coming
Oh,
on
thank
today. It's
you.
been such a pleasure for you to
Thank you,
share
Sean.
so much. And there you go, guys. I hope you really enjoyed that episode. I know we get some big influencers on, we get music artists, sports stars on, but I really created this channel to bring on the real people, not the people who just have this massive brands or advertising behind them. I want to show you real life, because that's what's really going to speak to you, and your gut will tell you that was a real conversation. So I hope this really helped you. And if it has, please don't forget to smash the like button, leave us a comment. I'll make sure Natalie gets it. And you know what? Share this with somebody who really needs to hear it. So until next time, peace.